Hello everyone, good to have you back on the channel. Today I want to teach you how to make this Canadian smoking. It's a decorative stitch that you can use on your projects, and I think this is something you want to try out. It's very easy, and I'll just go straight into explaining how I was able to achieve this style. So here, as you can see, I've gone on to draw boxes on this paper, and all these boxes measure 1 inch all around. So it's 1 inch by 1 inch by 1 inch by 1 inch. Okay, you can make it 1.5 or 2, but I think that would be too wide, so I decided to make it 1 inch. You can try out what works best for the effect that you want, but I used 1 inch and I think it came out nicely. So after I drew all these lines, and I made sure that they are evenly measuring 1 inch all around, I went on to draw the style lines. Like you can see, I skipped the first line. So if you're going to be joining this to your skirt or to your dress or to wherever, you need to leave your sewing allowances. Okay, so we start in the next box, and you can see that I've been moving diagonally. So the first style line is slanting diagonally in that direction. Skip one box, draw another diagonal line, skip one box, another line, one box, like that. So you're going to be skipping one box and you draw your diagonal line. And then on the next line, you skip the second box and then you draw in the opposite direction of the first line. Okay, so you are slanting it in the other opposite direction. You skip one box and you draw the lines like that until you get to the edge. The third line is going to be left blank, and then you continue the way you had started. Okay, so this line will be identical to line 1. That is, your lines will be slanting in the same direction as your first lines in the first boxes. I hope that doesn't I hope doesn't confuse you. Sorry, but just follow me. I'm just drawing a diagonal line, skipping one box, one line, skip one box, draw one line, and then the next line you slant it in the exact opposite of the first drawing. Okay, so you'll be slanting it in the opposite direction, skip one box, draw a line, skip one box, and then you skip the entire line before you restart the designs again. So you're going to keep on drawing those lines until you've drawn it on your entire fabric or on your entire paper, if you're doing it on paper first. So you need to also note that you are going to need to increase the length and width of your fabric, because you will see how we achieve this design. It ends up shrinking your fabric. So if you're going to use it on your sleeve, for example, you need to multiply that length by 2 and the width also, because after all, it's better for you to have excess than to have less fabric. So always add to your length and to the width of your fabric, because this design is going to shrink your fabric. Okay, so I just use this paper to help you see clearly what I'm going to be doing on the fabric. So I've gone on to transfer this exact pattern onto this fabric. This is the fabric I'll be using. It's a satin, and I've used chalk to draw it. So that's why I decided to draw that design on the paper first, so that you could see clearly what I was doing. But you can see I've gone on to draw exactly what was on the paper. I'm just slanting them diagonally, and then the second line I'm slanting it in the opposite direction. The third line is left blank, and then you start all over again. So this is exactly as it was on the paper, now transferred to the fabric. Okay, so you just do the same thing on your fabric that you were doing on paper, or you can just do it directly on paper. I mean, rather on fabric. I was doing it on paper so that you could see and understand and follow easily how I was drawing this particular style line. So now we're going to go to the next stage. We're going to start tacking. You can see I'm using a needle and a matching thread to the fabric. So what we are going to do is just to join the 2 points. So you pick that edge, okay, and you're going to secure that point, okay. Just pull the thread, make sure it's properly secured this way, okay, and my thread is trying to tangle there. Then you come to the edge of where that line is, so you're just going to follow where you were drawing the lines, and you're joining those two pieces with your thread. You're just tacking those 2 points together and securing them. Make sure that it doesn't unravel in the process, okay. So make sure you secure that by making a knot or a tie several times with your needle and thread. So this is something that is going to require a lot of patience, especially if you're going to use a larger portion making this design. It really is time consuming, but the outcome is rewarding. It's quite rewarding, but you really have to take your time, you have to be patient. And it can be therapeutic also, because it just, you know, relaxes your mind in the process, okay. This is not something you're going to do in a hurry. So you just keep on joining those 2 points. So you pick one edge, just follow where you made those style lines. So you pick one point and join it to where that line ends, or to where that line starts. Basically, that's what I'll be doing. So you can see our first knot. I'm going to the next one, and I'm going to pick that edge as well, this way, okay, and we're going to secure that tightly, yeah, before I join it to the other point. So I'm just joining it to where the style line ends, or where the style line starts, depends on how you see it, but you're just joining those 2 points like that, okay. Then make sure you secure with your needle and thread, and basically that's all we are doing here. You're just joining those 2 points, and you're going to do this to the entire fabric. So you go on to do that. Make sure it's secure. My thread is tending to tangle because I used 2. I feel it would be more secure than to use 1, but you can use 1 if you like. I used 2 just to make sure it's more secure. So you can see I'm just securing that several times before I cut that thread to go to the next point, okay. So we're going to do this to the entire line, okay. Make sure your thread is properly secure. We're going to continue like that. You join those 2 points, skip one line, go to the next one, skip one line, go to the next one. When you're done with that line, you go to the next line. You can see the style line is there, so it will be going in the opposite direction, okay. So your job is just to join those 2 points, because those lines show you where you're supposed to be joining what, or which point you're supposed to be joining to which point. So you secure the first part and you join it to where the line ends, like that. So just make sure that you don't skip any points in between. So you have to verify as you go along, and you tie it several times, okay. You can see my thread is giving me some issues there, but we'll keep on going. Keep on securing those 2 points. Make sure it's well secured, okay. Then you can later on chop off those pieces of thread, but basically I just wanted to show you how you go about joining those 2 points. So you're just joining one point to the next, move to the next style line, join one point to the next. So go line by line so that you don't miss any lines that will not be joined, because it's going to make your design look somehow funny because you skipped some points in between. So make sure you verify that you've not skipped any points, okay. So we move to the next one and you join that, move to the next one like that, like that. So you're going to move like that in the entire fabric. You join those two, until you are done, and then you would have been done with your design. Okay. Finally, I was able to do the entire boxes. This is what it looks like on the inside of the fabric. You can see I've joined all the points. So this is how it looks like. Yeah. On the other side of the fabric, which is the right side of the fabric, voila! I really like the outcome. I like that design. You can see it looks very, very nice. And I like this stitches on satin fabric. Of course, you can use other fabrics. I've seen these designs applied on coat, and you know, when you're making a coat, you use like a very hard fabric, because those were like trench coats that I saw, and they really looked nice because it was applied only on the yoke, and they looked so unique. So you can really use different kinds of fabrics, but I like the outcome and the glow when you use them on satin. So you can try this out on different projects and see what you come up with. Be creative and have fun while you're at it. And you can use different designs. Rather, I'm going to do several videos on different types of Canadian smoking. Thank you for watching. Go and try it out. I love you. Bye.